Hey guys, I'm your Mole today. So in today's video we'll be talking about England versus France within round 4 of the Six Nations. So this will be a very interesting match. Obviously, both sides will be wanting to win within this game. 2 weeks ago England did lose to Wales in that you could say controversial win, but overall I think Wales dominated England within that second half and totally deserved the win. So England will definitely want to turn their luck and actually get a win within this game. And yeah, France have actually haven't actually played a game since 3 weeks ago against Ireland when they beat them 12-15 away. So that's more or less like where France will definitely be in a better position at this point actually than England, purely on the basis which they've had more time to actually recover and everything, and as well as having a lot of players who were actually injured before actually be available in this game. So it's a huge boost, you could say, for France. But obviously England do have home advantage in this game because the game's been played within Twickenham. So that could come into England's favour. We'll have to wait and see. So anyway, here's the starting lineups for both sides, and more or less I'll walk them through you. I'll tell you what I think about them, and I'll just give you my prediction afterwards. So I'm starting with England. Obviously, the number 1 position they have gone with Vunipola. At number 2 they have gone with Luke Cohen-Dickie, and then Kyle Sinclair at the number 3. So that was a pretty good front row. To be frank, I mean they have switched out Jamie George from their last game, but more or less I think Cohen-Dickie, in my opinion, is the future for England, and I think he definitely deserves to have a shot. And I think Vunipola and Dinger should be a pretty good combo there. So with the locks, they've obviously gone with a Toje number 4, but they have switched out Hill, and they've gone with Eels, which is kind of an interesting one to see, so we'll see how he does it in the number 5 position. But then for the loose forwards, they have gone with Wilson, Curry, as well as Billy Vunipola at the number 8. So it's kind of the same loose forwards that they had last time against Wales. So moving on to their backs, with the backs, they do have the likes of Young and Ford, who I think for that combination, a 9-10 combination, I think it actually has worked very well in my opinion for England within this Six Nations. But it's just more or less like where Youngs has actually been a very good player, I'd say, throughout the Six Nations. But Ford, I think he can step it up, to be honest, but we'll see how he does within this game. But with their centre combination, they do have the likes of Owen Farrell at 12, and then Henry said at 13, I believe. And Owen Farrell obviously will be captaining the side. And this is one of those things where I think Owen Farrell, like I said, he is in goal here, and the reason for that is that he is, I think, my key player for England within this game. I think, he'll have to demonstrate his leadership qualities to get the win over the line, you could say, for England. And don't get me wrong, he has a ton of leadership qualities, but more or less he'll have to use them to the best of his ability within this game to at least control the backs for England and see how they can pass the ball around, as well as get a bit of creativity within that centre park. Anyway, I do think Henry Slade has done pretty well in this whole competition. I think he's probably been the best England player, in my opinion, throughout all the 3 games I've seen so far from England. So we'll have to see how he does. But with their wingers, obviously they do have the likes of Johnny May at the 11th spot, and then Anthony Watson at 14. So there's not really much of a difference there. Both wingers have been pretty good, I'd say, throughout the Six Nations. In particular, I'd say Anthony Watson. He did get 2 tries, I believe, against Italy. And Johnny May, I think he's had 2 tries so far in the comp. I'm not sure which games he's got them in, but more or less, I think both wingers have done pretty well. The big one you could say within this for the lineup, obviously, is within that 15 spot. I mean, they haven't actually gone with Elliot Daly. You can see here they've actually gone with Malins, which is kind of an interesting one because he has done very well, you could say, for Bristol within obviously the Premiership. But it's a very interesting call, and I like it. I actually like it a lot because it's more or less showing that Eddie Jones is actually willing to make some changes to the team, and he's realised that if he needs to bring in new people. So I actually like this move a lot. Elliot Daly, to be honest, he usually is good high in the air, but he hasn't been in his best of form. So I think hopefully Mark Waltons can actually do a job, and then we'll see how he goes. This is going to be his proper debut for England, so it is a lot of pressure on him, but hopefully he has a good match. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, moving on to the French team. The French have actually made a lot of changes, you could say, to their side. With the number 1, 2, and 3, they have Bailey. They have Bailey at number 1. They have Julie Marchand at number 2, and then Hawaii obviously at number 3, so that's a pretty good front row in my opinion. I'd say that's probably going to be, in my opinion, I'd say slightly better than England's, but that one can either go both ways. I think that'll be probably a key battle within the game for sure, within that scrub. But more or less, with the locking positions, they've actually made a change there. They don't have actually LaRue in there anymore, but they do have Tafalena, which is an interesting one because I actually haven't seen much of him. I haven't seen much of him, to be honest, but more or less I have seen highlights and how he's actually done, so we'll see how he does, and more or less his partner in crime will be Paul Williams, which is kind of an expected one, to be honest. He has done pretty well, I'd say, throughout this comp. France have only played 2 games, but he has done pretty well, I'd say, throughout both of them. And yeah, with the loose forward, they have made some changes from the last time. You know, they did have, for the number 6 position, they've actually gone with Citrin, which is kind of an interesting one, because Dylan Citrin, I think he did play within that first game against Italy, and more or less, I think he was just phenomenal for that game. So it's good to see him back. And then obviously they have Charles Avalon, who is the captain, of course, for France. The number 7 position, and at number 8 they have Gregory Oswald. So yeah, no, it's pretty stacked, I'd say, loose forwards there, and I'd probably edge it towards France to get the job done within that area. I think it'll be very crucial for them to be good within the breakdown and not concede as many penalties as they would like. But yeah, with their backs, the backs is where they've actually made most of their changes, really. You know, with Anthony Dupont actually coming back into the side now. Obviously, he didn't play the last game as much, but more or less he is back in the side, which is great to see because he is a very influential part for this French team. And then obviously he will be partnering up with Julien Jabot at the number 10 position, which he's actually done very well, I'd say, within both games. So yeah, he's definitely one to watch out for. For the centres is where they've actually made a few changes. You could say they do have the likes of Faku at the 12th position, but the return of Vakatawa is there. And yeah, it's kind of the reason why I put him in goal. You know, I do think he is the key player for France within this game. You know, if he is able to translate his form within last year's competition, then yeah, he is a definite key player for the French within the side. And yeah, he could definitely be the one who could be the difference in, you know, the French actually winning this game. So yeah, he's definitely the one to watch player, I'd say, for the French within this game for sure. But yeah, obviously the winners for the French, they have made some changes in the sense, but they have gone with Dylan, obviously. They have gone with Palot at the number 11 position, but then obviously for the 14, they've actually gone back to Teddy Thomas, who I believe is actually France's best winner, but they actually have a lot of good winners, so it's more or less, I just like Teddy Thomas, so it's good to see he's back inside. And obviously at the 15 position, they have gone with Bryce Duran. So yeah, no, he's done very well. I think he's probably been France's standout player, in my opinion, Bryce Duran, and yeah, he's been brilliant to watch, to be honest. So yeah, really good. I mean, both sides have a really good squads actually. But if I were to say for my prediction for this game, I would probably edge it towards France, just because they are more unpredictable you can say to win, because they actually haven't played in a very long time. You know, since 3 weeks ago. But I do think with the amount of people who've actually come back from injury, and then they also have Roman Denton back off the bench. That's that's a huge booster. But I do think the French will win this game, and I think it'll be a very close game again. But I think they'll win it by at least 5 points. So I'll say they'll win this game 25-20. Yeah, I can see the French winning this game, but very close, very close. Anyway, just tell me in the comments what you guys think about this game. Who do you guys think will win? And yeah, talk to you guys soon.